All right, guys, we're going to talk some tips for today. I just get anything that's out of my head so we can make sure our game comes a little more easier. So, a lot of people come in and they get real confused on the first day. What should they do? Regardless what type of faction or what type of guild, warband, fellowship you're in, you check those 4 buffs on the upper left hand side of yourself. Just read them and you will notice the first 24 hours buff give you extra damage reduction, extra stamina, all that. So you want to use this first 24 hours buff to maximize your efficiency. So spend the first 24 hours to grab higher level tiles and ditch the lower level tile. How do you do that? You convert probably 2, 3, 4 commander to 1 tile right next to the tile that's probably, let's say, this one, very high level tile you want to grab, then attack them together. You will lose a lot of troops. Yeah, that's true. But for the first day, yeah, that's what you do. After the first day, you might just want to slow down a little bit. You don't want to lose all your troops. So the first day, you pretty much, swap your low level tile, then grab a high level tile. Then that's for the first 24 hours. After that, you go to your ring power. The absolute most important part is dominance in the center. Every couple of levels, you'll be able to upgrade 1 level of dominance. This one, expansion control, it gives you max ability points, the ring ability, right? Then stamina, that's what you need. Then you come to experience for your commanders, 5%, you max that out. And then yield from mock battle, and then efficiency from mock battle. That's the first couple, let's say, days. That's the first couple days you will need to do. Max them out and then use the highest level tile to do mock battle. Right here, I think I had a mail. Yeah, it says it gives me this much of experience during the last 140 minutes. Mock battle is the best way you can upgrade your commanders. And always throw your commander to the highest tile. You will suffering with the resource at that point, but don't worry about it. Give your resource to the mock battle first, then send your commander to grab more lands. You have to kind of balance those. You always want to reach the maximum number of your tile limitations and always do ditching the lower level. This is the easier way you can ditch those is you click this little, square thing right next to the whatever faction you were. In my case, I'm Isengard. So it gives you a huge list and you can just simply ditch those low level lands. So this way you can ditch them. That will be easier for you. And then the third tip is the concept of anchor lands. This is a tile based game. If you do not have anything next to a target, you can't attack it. That's just simple. Then you will need anchor lands. So when you go take the anchor lands to the designated target, you don't want to use your main hero. Your main hero is going there to take the anchor land. So use we call that runners. Runners are basically a set of heroes that doing pretty much nothing but help you build anchor lands. That's the first thing, right? And by this time, all the CCTV is supposed to know we use runner for another purpose. Is we are doing more of a guerrilla warfare style or fighting style. Which means we'll constantly running into your backline, constantly harassing you with those runners and make you chase us with your stamina. If the enemy choose to chase us, they will have to spend a lot of people try to block us, which will cost a lot of their stamina, which will exhaust them. And on the other hand, if they do not chase us, we'll just simply drop a fort. Because every land you obtain, you can drop a fort on top of it. Where is it? You can build a land, you can build a fort. So in that case, they will find super annoying. They don't want to deal with you. And you want to drag them on the table to, negotiate. Now comes the fourth point. Do not be power drunk or ego driven. You need to understand a war game first. It doesn't matter how many whale you have in the first season or even the second season. What really matters is your activeness plus the way you communicate. So for instance, we had LotR as the biggest popular faction at the beginning, and now you see they only have 2 lands left and their capital is about to be taken. you don't want to be a faction like that. You don't want to be inside a faction like that. How to avoid it? First of all, you probably want to talk to those experienced players because they know who has a higher ego, and they pretty much know if they can articulate their ego to the reality. I see a couple factions fail in this case is just because they cannot articulate their ego to their reality. Like, everybody talks about fight. Yes, we all want to fight. We all want to get the ring. We all want to win. But if you don't have enough people, yeah, you want to think twice. Avoid a high ego faction because despite how many whales or how strong they look like at the beginning. Then the next tip will be the commanding system. Every faction or every guild probably have a different commanding system. In our case, we are using the pin system. And as I already told you, this pin system works pretty decent. And for us, CCTV only, we break down the tags or the pins into 4 different purposes, as you can see right now. Yellow ones are, being there with runners, build forts, build road, that kind of stuff. Those are the basic priority level pins. And then we have the red pins. Those are the higher priority. You want to kill all the targets in your range as soon as possible because most likely they pose a bigger threat. And then it comes to the green tag, which is a caution tag, or let's say a notification tag. You need to read them. Okay, that's just for us. If you're CCTV or watching this, you know what we're talking about. And how to find them, I already told you. You go to this little pin and there are a bunch of tags. And also you can go to your map and click on this force tab right here. Then it drops everything for you. So you find the yellow pin for your direction or your blue pin, which is a converting pin for your direction. Then you go to the killing mode or frenzy mode, whatever you want to call. Okay. And the first tip is do not put your report into war chat, especially in the early game, because you might building up certain troops and other troops are probably a little weak. And this game is more like a card deck game. You don't want your opponent to kind of figure out what cards you are holding in your hands. So don't try to flash your report into the war chat and say, oh, I just killed this boss, I killed that boss. You are pretty much giving the information of at least yourself to the world. You expose yourself to the world. Hey, I'm so strong with Troop A, Troop B, and Troop C. And everybody knows everyone has the limited amount of resource. That means Troop D, E, F, you're not as good as your A, B, C. Then they know how to counter you. So you don't want to do that. And that's all the tips I can think of for now. Besides all the other tips we can find on the internet. And definitely you want to do this Red Book of Western March because it gives you enough resource to just progress your main quest at the early stage of the game. Also, this tip, you want to do it. If you have the gem, you do it because it gives you enough experience at the beginning, and also it gives you respect level for a couple commanders. In terms of different commanders, we'll go in them later, but yeah, there are a lot of tier lists flying around on the internet. You read them and process the info first. Many of those doesn't make sense. So I already gave you guys a video about how you categorize those commander, and if you read their skills, it's pretty straightforward. If you read the commander carefully, you read those talents, you will understand immediately what is the pros and cons of all of those commander. And that will be pretty much. It's a long video, about 15 minutes, and I hope you are still enjoying the game. Don't be frustrated if you are slower, if you get knocked out, if you lost your troop, because this game is more of a time-consuming tile kind of game. It prevents you from being KO. It's pretty safe, I would say. You should explore more, enjoy more. Don't worry about if you get zeroed or stuff like that. You should be fine, all right? Especially if you're a Tolkien fan. That's all I want to say, and until next time, I'll see you.